letting me interview you. Today I'll be asking you a series of questions regarding your experiences in teaching.
No worries, thanks for having me.
So firstly, what is your general approach to teaching?
I've been teaching for 5 years, and during that time I've really enjoyed helping all my students to develop as learners and as people. My role as a teacher is to ensure that students can reach their maximum potential, and so I tend not to have harsh, grade-focused teaching style. Instead, I prioritise their learning experience and try to help them grow from their mistakes. I encourage them to ask as many questions as possible, because this allows them to exercise their critical thinking skills. I also see my students' feedback on how they learn best, as I want to provide them with a style of learning that personally suits them and makes sense for them.
Great. Next, what do you believe is the best way of assessing students' progress?
As I mentioned before, I don't think a focus on grades is healthy or productive for a student's mental well-being. Grades are a starting point for their learning and allow you to establish your strengths and weaknesses. I always tell my students that grades are just a number and that you should focus on the work itself rather than the grade you get. I give my students mid-topic quizzes so when their grades don't go on their report, that they can retake it as much as they want to. I also recognise that some students have individual circumstances that may make meeting deadlines difficult, so I try to be flexible and do what I can to help them in return for their best work in a timely manner.
That's really insightful. Last question, what are your thoughts on the subject you teach?
I teach my subject because I find it really interesting. I've always been passionate about it. I began studying it in high school myself, and my love for the subject inspired me to become a teacher, so I could help students learn about it every day. The curriculum that I teach is great. It aims to develop understanding of the course content rather than just rote memorisation.